Guacamole. It's a condiment. You put it on things. It's a dip. You dip things into it. It's delicious. You love it. You sometimes pay extra for it. Well, Mr. Mar is here to teach you today how to make your own guacamole so that you don't have to pay extra for it. So welcome to my kitchen. Let's start with the ingredients. Fairly simple, not a lot of ingredients, and in fact, some of these ingredients are optional, depending on your taste. Avocados are a must, salt and pepper a must, lime juice a must, everything else, maybe the garlic is a must, is optional. So come over here. I have some salt. All right, it's gonna be a pinch of salt, don't worry about it. I have these tomatoes. Again, I like tomatoes in my guacamole. You might not. That's okay. So I sliced these up, or I chopped these, and I put salt on them because they're winter tomatoes. They're winter Roma tomatoes. They're a little bit mealy. They're not great. If this was the summer, I wouldn't need to do anything. But I salted them to get some of the moisture out, some of the water out, and to make them a little bit more delicious and a little bit more flavorful. And I dumped that water out earlier so that that water wouldn't get into the guacamole to make it watery. A lime, one whole lime. This is a little lime. This should be enough. If you like more, you can put more in. 2 cloves of garlic. These ones are a little bit small for me. These are actual fresh cloves of garlic. I'm not going to go into how to peel a clove of garlic. Maybe that's going to be another demonstration or another tutorial someday. It's actually pretty easy. These are small. I might put in an extra later. We'll see. I'm going to taste it and see how it goes. These are hot pepper flakes, crushed red pepper. You might like it spicy, you might not. I do, so I put these in. And then, the star of the show. These 2 avocados, or as I say in Spanish, aguacates. These are the Mexican avocados, the Hass avocados, and these are good for guacamole. The bigger ones, the ones from Florida or the Dominican Republic, those are good for salads. These are good for guacamole. And you'll notice it's kind of like 2 of this, 2 of these. This is a guacamole for 2. You can change the number of ingredients depending on the number of people that you have. So we're gonna get started. The first thing that I do with this is I deal with the lime because I wanna deal with the avocado, and the lime and the avocado go together chemically, and I'll show you why, or I'll tell you why in a second. So to get the juice out of the avocado, the lime, I'm going to show you 2 different ways. First thing is I put it on the countertop, or in my case, this is the butcher block, the cutting board, and I press down on it to get the juices flowing. It softens the flesh inside the lime a little bit so that you can get the juiciest lime possible. You also could do this in the microwave. You could put the lime in the microwave, I think maybe it's like 10 to 30 seconds or something like that, to get some of the juices out. That helps too. So 2 ways to get the juice out of this lime. Simple way and, well, the fancy way and the regular way. First, I'm gonna cut it in half, like that. And then, first I'll show you the simple, or the handheld way. There's no there's no seeds in a lime, so you don't need to worry about getting the seeds in there. That's totally okay. So if this were a lemon, I would hold it like this to keep the seeds in my palm, but this is a lime, so I don't have to. And I just squeeze out as much of the juice as I can. I should say that step one is to wash your hands, which I already did before we started this. So I'm squeezing out as much of that juice as possible. As much of that juice as I possibly can. Another way you could do this, if you don't have the equipment that I have here, is you can hold it in between the 2 parts of the tongue, and you can squeeze it that way. And that'll get it out if your hand strength isn't great. I also then, when I'm done with things, I put it in a garbage bowl. Thank you, Rachel Ray. Then I don't have to make a million trips to the garbage. Now, second way to juice a lime. This is a juicer. It's amazing. It's so easy. I put the lime in here like this. I press down like this, and then all of that juice comes out. And probably more than I was able to get when I juiced it just with my hands. So there's that, into the garbage bowl. 2 ways to deal with the avocado. Very simple. Don't be scared. 1, with a knife, holding it in your palm like this. You start from the top and gently, this should be a nice ripe avocado. You'll know it's ripe if it's brown and it's a little bit soft. You cut into it and you cut around like this so that you can feel the pit with your knife in the center. Then you take it out. You twist it off like this. This is beautiful, actually. There's that little pit in there. Here's the simplest way to get it out. Now be very, very careful. You gently tap that pit in the center if you can, and you twist like that. If you have an avocado that's a little less ripe, it's going to be more difficult, so you have to be extremely careful. It's just a tap. You're not whacking it onto there, so that you have to be very careful of your hands. And then I throw that pit right into the garbage bowl. That's how I do it. Then I scoop out that avocado like this. Just scoop it right out, right to where the skin is, and I put it there, and I just chop it a little bit like that, and I get it into the lime juice. Now the reason you want it in the lime juice is because the lime juice, the acid in the lime juice, prevents the avocado from oxidating or turning brown. So that's why I'm doing this now, so that I can get everything else ready without worrying that the avocado is going to turn brown. So it's all nice and limey, all ready for me when I'm ready to smash it up. Next, this is a special avocado tool. You may not have this. Why do I have it? Somebody gave it to me, and I love it. I love it, love it, love it. This is the knife part. This is the part to get the pit out, and then this is the part to slice it. I'll show you. So, knife part, same as before. You're working from the top and the center. You're going around so you can feel the pit as your guide. It's done all around. Untwist it like that. This part, amazing, goes in gently like this with little pressure, and you twist it like that, comes out like that, and then with your finger, boop, into the garbage bowl. It's so simple. This is the slicer right here. So like how I scooped out with the spoon before, I scoop it out like a spoon, except it's gonna actually slice it while I do that. Be careful, because sometimes at the top the pit is still there, or not the pit, the very top of it, there's like a little nub that you have to take off. I already did that. So here we go. I do this and I go through or scrape the edges, and then it's already sliced for me like that. Makes it a little bit easier. If there's a little bit more there, you just go in and you take that out. Next one, this one. I go in, I slice it with this avocado thing, and it takes it right out. Easy, easy. What's the next thing I'm gonna do? I'm gonna make sure that that gets tossed up with the lime juice, because I don't want anything to oxidate while I'm working on other things. Just tapping it with my spoon like this. Now, we're going to talk a little bit in a minute about how much you like, what the consistency is that you like your guacamole. I like mine a little bit chunkier. The lime juice is also going to break the avocado down. It's going to make it a little bit softer, so that when it's time to mix it up, it's not going to be hard pieces of avocado in there. Even if you're keeping it chunky, it's going to be nice and soft and silky, which is what you want guacamole to be. So, I toss that up. Now we add the spices, the garlic, and we'll add the tomatoes last, the pepper, and the salt. Garlic. There's a number of ways that you can deal with this garlic. I'm going to show you a very easy way if you have this tool. This is called a rasp or a grater. It's used for a lot of different things. It's used to grate things very finely. This is an easy way to deal with the garlic, because you don't want chunks of garlic that you're biting down on. You just want the flavor to permeate through. So I put it on the bowl and I grate it like this, down to just about before my fingers get caught, right? So there's a little bit left, and I toss that in the garbage bowl. Same thing with the other one. There's a great smashing technique that you can use with garlic. Again, garlic could be a whole other video, so we'll do that another time maybe. Right down to just before I scrape my fingers. Be very careful that you don't. Notice now, there's all of this good garlicky pulp right there, and I'm gonna tap it to get it all out into the actual avocados. Next, these are things to taste. To taste means what you like to taste in your guacamole. Salt, easy. For me, it's just a nice pinch like that. Maybe another pinch. In my Irish family, we didn't have a lot of avocado, but we had a lot of salt. Like my grandfather used to salt his potato chips, his salty potato chips. So I inherited that love for salt. So I put a lot of salt in it. Pepper. I like fresh ground pepper. You can use whatever pepper you have. Again, I like a lot of pepper, so I put a lot of pepper in. That was, I don't know, a few twists of it. This is the crushed red pepper flakes. Okay, I just put a few shakes in there. And again, less is more. I mean, you may not think that was less, but if you are concerned about it, only put a little bit in because you can always add, but it's much more difficult to take out. In fact, you would be piecing through taking out all those things, and by that time they permeated the whole thing and made it too hot for you anyway. So, that's that. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to just smash the avocado down a little bit with my spoon. Oh, and it's so nice and soft because A, it was a nice ripe avocado to begin with, and B, it had sat in the lime for a little bit, and so it's going to be nice and easy to work with. And I just smash it against the side of the bowl with my spoon like that. And for me, this is just about the texture that I like. It's chunky, but it's silky. It feels like a dip, and not like I'm eating a salad. And so that's what it looks like, just the avocado. The other thing you could do is you could smash it with a fork if you want. Fork would be easier for you if you were using avocados that were a little less ripe, so they were a little bit harder. And the other thing that you can use, I don't have it out right now, is a potato masher. If your parents have a potato masher, and you just go in and you're like that, and that's fine too. This recipe, by the way, is modified by my favorite TV food chef, who is Ina Garten, the Barefoot Contessa. So it is a version of hers. Now, some people also put, and I have to take a breath before this, they put onions in avocado and guacamole. I hate onions. I hate them. I hate raw onions. I think the smallest bit of raw onion ruins anything because then to me it just tastes like onion. However, if you like raw onions, you go ahead and you put raw onions in there. Something that Rob does, who is taping me right now or filming me right now, is he would put the onion juice in there because he likes the flavor of the onions in there, but he doesn't necessarily want the chunks of onions, just kind of like we did with the garlic. I think that's disgusting. You may not, but this is your guacamole. Take my base recipe and work from there. Finally, I put in the tomatoes because I like those. Now, you might be saying, oh, no, tomatoes are something I definitely don't want. So I'm putting mine in. I'm just stirring them around like that. This is ready to go. And you know what? If you were making this for people and you wanted to wait a little bit before, you wanted to make it before they came, although nobody's coming into your house now because we're in quarantine. So you could make this a little bit in advance, but not too much because eventually it will oxidize, it will turn brown, but the lime juice will keep it from doing that for a while. So I'm going to taste it to see how good it is. Always taste for flavor because then you can see what you need to add or you need to take away. And that is perfection. That's really, really, really good. So a little mixing bowl like this is fine. And if you wanted to eat out of that mixing bowl, you do you. That is totally fine. I have a little serving bowl here. So I'm going to put it into the serving bowl. I want to try to keep it as neat as I can. It's guacamole, so it's difficult. And when you're serving things, you want to give the things, especially things that mound up like that, a little bit of height. So I like to make it as tall as I can, as pretty as I can, and if I was really going to be ridiculous about it, then I would take a little wet paper towel and I would wipe the excess off of the bowl where some of that avocado went or some of that guacamole went. And you can serve it however you want with whatever you want. In this case, in this house, we like the multigrain scoops, and that's what we're going to serve it with. So, That's it. That's guacamole. It's so much more delicious when you make it yourself. You can do it any way that you like, and it's a fun thing and an easy thing to do for your family that's hanging out with each other for a much longer period of time than any of us ever expected. So you might as well enjoy it and taste something delicious. So try my guacamole, and I think that you are going to enjoy it. Thank you very much for watching.